These are fun and enlightening topics, Jeff. I appreciate it. And I think my channel is a mix of things, I guess, but a few martial artists and a few very good martial artists do follow it and keep pace, and that's cool. So I think this is going to add a lot of great insight to the discussion. But another point that I think you have some interesting insight for, the John Wick movies have been killing it for the last couple of years. I'm a big fan, but I know that you've served with people that might be the real thing, right? The real John Wick, the real Jason Bourne. I wouldn't even know where to begin, but I'm curious what you think about well, technical skills, combat skills. Where you think these guys play on the spectrum, essentially. Does the movie do it justice, or is it a bit far fetched?
Super far fetched. I love them though.
Okay.
I love gun fu. I love the gun fu. I love the hard hitting. I love the in Jason Bourne the Indonesian silat, krav. Those types of movements, and then obviously John Wick. He's got this gun fu, hapkido, jujitsu, and he obviously does very very well, and he's good. I don't know if you've seen some of his YouTube videos. Keanu Reeves, that guy tears it up on the range, so he knows what he's
Oh
doing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, he knows what he's doing. Uh, but it's all fallacy. I mean, there are some, just like everything else. We when we were growing up, we wanted to believe that we could move in a real fight just like Jackie Chan could move in Rumble in the Bronx on the top of that pool table, right? Uh, but there, and again, that's art, right? Art mimicking and embellishing in real life. These guys, and just to be specific, and I just, I am this much of what these guys do, right? Like my level of training and understanding is this much. And these
Hmm.
guys that I've worked with, or the guys that, didn't come back, or the guys that you see right now, like the Tim Kennedys and the Pat McNamara's and, the sheriff of Baghdad, and these guys that even the echelon front guys from Jocko Willink and those guys, Task Force Unit Bruiser. Uh, we were all there in the same time period. I had the fortune, and probably to these guys that did this at the highest level, probably to their misfortune that they had me kind of running around like a kid brother, on a battlefield, and they get to pull me aside and say, "Hey, look, if you're going to come with me, you're going to train with, or you're going to be out there with me. I know you're a ranger. You got ranger tab. I know you got a physical training score off the charts, but let's go out to the range. This is what I need you to be right now, and so I was really fortunate to get that on one-on-one training with the people that I worked with, those special kind of people in that same realm. But I am not that guy. I just have some experiences with these guys. The one of the greatest one of the greatest operators and the greatest warriors I've ever known is was a guy that named Major Doug Zembeck, the Lion of Fallujah. We were assigned at the same unit at the time. Unfortunately, he did not make it out, uh, and he is a Marine. I was a Marine, and you can look him up in the Washington Post. His wife wrote an article. Uh, a hero and a Spartan, and that's the kind of guy. That guy, Pat McNamara, these guys that I work with, that their faces are seared into my brain because we worked so closely together for a short period of time, but it seemed like a long period of time. War, sitting around in Iraq, that 99% of the time you kind of get tired of each other, and then that 1% you really rely on each other. So these guys are the guys that I see as what real operators are, um, and more to their they're operators because they are specialized in their craft. Yes, they can walk into a room in a firing team, and you can stand in the middle, and if you don't match the target description, you will see bullets fly, and you're standing in the middle of the room. Not one will touch you. I mean, it's that kind of level, and maybe I'm embellishing a little bit as well, but it's that type of discipline, that type of skill set that these guys do on a daily basis, every day, all the time. And their standards meet that. In these specialized units, it's a lot like, a professional baseball or football team. You can be the greatest. Once you start sliding down, maybe age is getting to you. Maybe you've made a couple of mistakes. Maybe something's not going right at home, and so your head's not in it completely. They'll fire you. Hey, buddy, thank you. Here's your walking papers. Go seek life elsewhere. And that's happened to me. In certain parts of my career. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's just, it is what it is. And these guys will tell you the same thing. They're professionals. Yes, they can drive nails from 25 meters, with a Glock 19 with just iron sights. And yeah, I mean, they're that good. But it's all basics. Their tactics are the same tactics you learn in the infantry officer basic course or one station unit training in Ranger School. We used to call it the Field Manual 7-8 Infantry Rifle Platoon and Squad Tactics. Now it's FM 36 something, but it's a field manual. The Ranger Handbook is the Ranger Handbook for a reason, and it doesn't really change. They're all basics. Shoot, move, and communicate. Fire and maneuver. Bounding, overwatch. Basic movements through movement formations and order of movement. These are all basics that get drilled over and over and over and over and over again, to where they're no longer, just like anything else, they're no longer their standard operating procedure. They no longer have to be prioritized for training. They do prioritize them for training, but it's in that kind of band of excellence on a training, on a training graph of time and or proficiency over time. You get that kind of, you train up, and then you deploy, and then you come back down. Once you redeploy, your proficiency drops, but you want to stay in that band of excellence here where you're trained, and then your proficiency might drop, so you train some more, your proficiency drop, and eyes live. Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, it sounds like a truly elite level of performance in this case, huh?
Yeah. So if you want to, but you have to look at it from a holistic point of view as well. You can only operate at that level for so long.
Yeah.
We call it top dead. You would call it top dead center. In that bell curve of performance, where you've got, if that bell curve does this, you want to live right here. You can only perform for so long right at that top dead center. And it's just like an elite athlete. Just because you're an elite athlete doesn't mean you are healthy. There are other sacrifices you've had to make in your life. There are other sacrifices you've had to make for your personal health to meet whatever elite function you provide. Same concept. The guys and gals now, let's not forget that. There's some badass badass females in these special operations units and in these high performing what we call line or conventional units that I would want them on my team. If they can carry me out, I'm good with them. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean that's you can only live there for so long. Uh, and then and then you have to find some other holistic bring more balance into your life somewhere else, and that's the name of the game at the elite level. You only have so many cycles to spend in that elite level.
Yeah, that's a good point and fair.